All the Celtics are supposed to have a dynasty, now it's ruined. And yes, that sucks for them, but this changes the whole NBA. I mean, how does Giannis leave the East now? If dude demands a trade, you think he goes to the Warriors or Spurs now? I mean, if leaving Milwaukee's all about winning titles, why would you go out west? The toughest East teams now are Cleveland, Indiana, and the Knicks. And no offense to them, but not exactly the Michael Jordan Bulls. So the Western Conference Finals is the NBA Finals this year and next year. But what are the Celtics gonna do? Well, speaking of MJ's Bulls, when Jordan left for baseball, he was out 1.5 years, the exact time that Tatum will miss. But in that time, Chicago remade the roster. Literally the only two players left from their last finals run was MJ and Scottie Pippen. Everyone else was different. That is a wild job by that front office, but the C's have to do the same. So what changes will we see? Well, the most wild rumor was just leaked by Kevin O'Connor, and this man is actually a serious writer and reporter. He doesn't just say random stuff. And dude said signs point to something with Cooper Flagg.
Boston calls Nico, and they offer Jaylen Brown, and how many first-round picks is it gonna take, Nico? I wonder if Dallas and their entire decision-making unit would listen. I just wonder.
Oh, he just wonders. Well, there's about a million reasons why that is ridiculous. But also, there is proof that Boston's planning something crazy on draft night. But the Celtics knew that a big change was coming no matter what, because the new CBA crushes teams like them. They are so far over the second apron, it's insane. Cannot trade for players. Can't even trade your own picks several years out. And the tax bill, as constructed, they'd cost about $500 million next year. Blows the current record of $408 million out of the water. And for what? The only rotation players under 30 are Tatum, Brown, and Peyton Pritchard. And this new owner could barely even get the money together to buy the team. You think he's gonna shell out $500 million for this? No, they've got to start trading players fast. Deal as many of these old guys before their value plummets. Get cheap and under the second apron so that when Tatum comes back, you can go on another title run like those Bulls. Or like Golden State. When KD left and they had all those injuries, it was like a gap year and a half, and eventually they beat the Celtics for the 2022 title. So who has got to go? Well, the first name is Kristaps Porzingis, and he ain't just 30. He is an old 30. Dude's got injuries and now some mystery illness, but when healthy, a contender would still love him, because not only does KP anchor a defense, but he stretches the floor, and in the regular season, he dropped 20.7 boards and 2 blocks a game. Lakers, they would die to have a center with the ceiling of KP, and just the right amount of desperate to gamble on his health. Plus, in a trade, they still have the valuable 2031 first-round pick, or, role players like Rui Hachimura, Dalton Connect. What about the Warriors? The number one need for them this offseason is size at center. And I'm not even saying that. Steph Curry said that. How much better do you get than Kristaps Porzingis when healthy? But the next name to go, obviously, is Jrue Holiday. Dude was thinking about retiring a few years ago, and Boston gave him a new 4-year contract. Oh, the last few years of this deal are gonna get ugly. I mean, he's already declined offensively, and he turns 35 years old in June. I am sorry, but this is a salary dump. They're not going to get anything really of value back for Jrue Holiday, so I would call the Kings or the Hawks somebody who really needs perimeter defense and an adult in their locker room. But the wildest trade idea is Jaylen Brown, and this is where Cooper Flagg comes in. So there is a mystery about what the Celtics plan to do on draft night, because they have 2 picks, number 28 and 32. But at the combine, they did something strange. Every team is allowed to interview up to 13 players. You give the NBA your list of guys ranked 1 to 13 who you want to interview most, and the Celtics interviewed 2 players in the top 10, Cooper Flagg and Trey Johnson. But Boston doesn't pick until the end of the first round, so why would they prioritize speaking with 2 top 10 guys, including the number 1 overall pick? Well, some people say, did you see Cooper's face during the draft lottery? Oh, Mavericks happy as hell, but Cooper? Not so much. Look at that face. But did you see how excited he got when Philly moved into the top 4? Why? Because he is from New England. That's his home, which means the Celtics. Boston is literally the closest NBA team to Cooper Flagg's friends and family. You know he would love to wear green. Oh, and the Mavs? Nico Harrison needs to win a title in the next few years. Jaylen Brown is so much better fit for that goal than Cooper, and how often is a Finals MVP in his prime up for grabs? Also, there's pressure playing in Dallas. I mean, they just had the worst NBA trade ever, and if Cooper starts slow, the vibes could get toxic quick. So that is what people say. And it's completely ridiculous, okay? I know I just laid it all out, but it is so dumb. There is no way that the Mavericks trade this pick for Jaylen Brown and a million picks. I do not care. Yes, Nico is still the GM, but ESPN reports the owner, Patrick Dumont, has given Nico Harrison great leeway to run basketball operations, but Dumont has the final decision on all personnel matters, and he will not let Nico ruin this thing. The pick is 100% untouchable, but Trey Johnson might make some sense. He is one of the best shooters in this draft, and we know shooting is foundational to how the Celtics operate. Not only does Boston need to get younger, they need to get cheaper, and having Johnson on a 4-year rookie deal would be huge. They also need to trade their vets, like we talked about. So this is a perfect storm for the Celtics to move up on draft night, play Trey big minutes for when Tatum comes back. But who would actually make that trade? Well, I said that Trey Johnson goes anywhere from 4 to 9, and in that top 9, I identify the Sixers, the Pelicans, and the Raptors as teams who might be interested in trading their pick for the right veteran player who could boost their already experienced roster. Now, is that Jaylen Brown? Probably not, but I wouldn't be shocked if Boston made a move to trade up. But the future is even harder to predict for Jason Tatum. Look at this data on Achilles tears for NBA players. In the last 10 plus years, we have seen 6 Achilles tears before Tatum. Oh, but we're all so used to the thought of Kevin Durant, who is still great. It'll be fine, but nobody has come back like Durant since Dominique Wilkins in 1992. DeMarcus Cousins basically ended his career. Same age as Tatum, 27 years old. Rudy Gay was much worse. Wes Matthews was never the same. I mean, some people remember him an elite role player in Portland, not afterward. Brandon Jennings out of the league, and Kobe was never the same, but hey, he was 34 years old. However, the good news for Jason Tatum is he has something that none of those players had. An Achilles doctor named Lou Soslowski says that the fact that Tatum got surgery just 12 hours after the tear is unheard of. That is really atypical, even for a professional athlete or a high-profile individual. So that is really wonderful. I mean, 50% of the time, they're not in their home city, and once you settle on a surgeon, depending on what city the surgeon's in, it's often not the city that you're in. But Tatum happened to already be in New York City, and the surgeon that they wanted, who lives in New York, was available. This never happens. So maybe dude is amazing when he comes back. But one thing that we know is the Celtics will look a lot different, and so will the NBA. We thought Boston would win multiple titles. Well, 2 different championship trophies are going to be handed out by the time Jason Tatum steps back on the court. This is one of the most impactful injuries of all time. So we'll see how Boston bounces back. But also an opportunity for Golden State, because let's say Giannis does want to leave the East. Maybe it's not even up to him where he goes. The Warriors would love to have him, and actually, they have a Giannis plan for this offseason.